Guys, today we are going to be talking about secret lairs. Are they good? Should we have them? Yeah. What we would like to see,
What
maybe,
we'd like to see, that
in
would be a
Secret
good
Lair.
topic, yeah.
All that stuff. This is Shannon's idea for the video. So if you don't like it, then flame her in the comments below.
Oh dear.
So, Shannon, you wanted to talk about Secret Lairs today. What made you want to discuss Secret Lairs today?
Yeah, I know like with your channel you haven't covered it yet. I know you covered Universes Beyond, but I feel like we haven't gone a deep dive into Secret Lairs yet. So I just thought, yeah, it'd be a good topic.
Okay, nice. So, Shannon, I'm going to ask you, right off the bat, as a player that's been playing for about over a year, just over a year. So I still count us as like new players, essentially, compared to some of these people that have been playing for years. So as a relatively new player, what are your thoughts on Secret Lair overall?
So I think for me, because I'm a collector, which you can probably tell from the background.
Yes, there are figures in the background.
But also what you can't see is that I have these Disney dolls where you queue up outside, not so much now, but I know definitely back in the day you had to like queue really early to get these Disney dolls, and there's like a certain like number, and then once it's gone, it's gone. And I did love the thrill of, you know, setting an early alarm and going to queue up and getting like these dolls that are just,
it's that thrill, as you said, like it's the limited thing. That's what gets people going crazy.
Like worth it, yeah. And every time you look at it, you can smile at the memory of, I can't believe I got this. So, yeah. I think I just love that. For me, like Secret Lair has brought that feeling into Magic, especially since a lot of my finances are going into Magic now and not so much my collectibles anymore. So, yeah. What about you?
So what you're saying is you like the thrill that the Secret Lair offers because it's limited and it makes it feel maybe more special.
Yeah. And it's also just fun memories, especially like with us where we're getting on the phone to each other and we're complaining about it, but in like a fun, jokey way. In reality, I don't know about you, but even though like we're saying how stressful it is and stuff, like it's exciting.
It feels like a bit of an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, as you said, everyone's on the phone, we're all waiting together. Yeah. It definitely, almost like it's weird. It like brings people together through this shared trauma experience. Because that's essentially what it can feel like, especially if a Secret Lair drops and it's something that you really want. Like, for me, the closest thing is like the Marvel stuff that we did. Like, that was crazy. We were both fortunate enough to get what we wanted, but our cousin wasn't.
But our cousin did get the SpongeBob ones, and he was waiting a while, and we was cheering him on, you know, even though we weren't a part of it. So even that, we weren't a part of it, but we was cheering him on in the group chat, yeah. Okay,
so I'm gonna say something that I can imagine like a lot of the viewers are thinking when they watch that, listen to that and stuff. So, so obviously I completely understand that, but we've seen the downsides, right? So we've seen the reality is that Wizards, they're making a product, and a product that is high in demand, that people want, and people cannot buy it. Like, just you can't get it. Doesn't matter what you want it. It's like a dangling something in front of you. Like, there you go. You want this? Oh well, you can't have it. You can't have it because you were at work. So because you have a life and you were out there earning money to buy the stuff that we're selling you, you now don't have the option to buy that. And I think we could probably universally say as a community that that's probably not a good thing. Yeah, you know, it's a hard one. For me personally, I completely agree with you. I think to deny, because I've seen so much criticism about Secret Lairs, and of course, because and it's only logical. I don't disagree with anything that people say. Like, it makes complete and utter sense. But the reality is, we see this everywhere with other hobbies, and like they've got it from like the whole like trainers thing. I think I think they were when people like buy all these limited trainers, like it's been going on for ages. And it's the same thing. They go, oh, it's about to drop this limited edition trainers. There's only a certain amount of pairs. And the reality is, if they mass produce that trainer, no one would probably care, you know? But because it's limited, it's special, you know? And not to get too deep, but in like a society where everyone is craving to stand out and be unique, it is kind of, I feel like Secret Lair is, you know, feeding that demand in society of people want things that are special, you know?
There was definitely a bit of like kind of like pride in me where we went to a store and I was playing my Black Panther deck and someone saw that it wasn't just like a generic bunny deck, it's Black Panther leading the charge of these bunnies, and it was something different that is unique to me.
Yeah, because not many people have that Secret Lair.
Yeah.
You know?
And on top of that, I mixed it in with something and made it a whole different thing, yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard, right? It's hard because yes, all of these Secret Lair products, they could print into just regular sets, right? Like we could see all these Marvel Secret Lairs that they've done, and they could have just been in the Marvel set, but they chose instead to say, no, we're going to charge you £40, or was it 50? I can't even remember. 50, right? 40 for non-foil.
50 was foil.
Right.
Which is why, like, I got one of them foil and one of them non-foil.
Right.
I had to make
so
a choice.
£90 that you paid. I paid 100 because I got both foil for 10 cards, right? Like, and the reality is that even like those cards, you're not always getting that value because there's only one mechanically unique card. The rest of them were not mechanically unique. They were cards that already exist. And a lot of the time, you're not paying for what that card is worth. You're actually paying a premium because they have the fancy artwork on them. So a lot of people, you see a lot of like channels out there that they'll be like, you know, this Secret Lair is not worth buying because the card value in this Secret Lair is awful. So an example, I did a video on the dogs one, and it worked, right? Because immediately I saw this Secret Lair and I was like, oh my God, they've got dogs on them. It's so cute and I need it. And I just dropped like 40 quid. I didn't even think about it. Like, I didn't take a second to be like, is this worth my money? It was part of the Chaos Vault. We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, because you start to think, oh no, it's going to disappear.
It's going to disappear and you panic and you just go, and then you just drop it. Whereas if I had maybe a week even to think about, do I want to buy this? Would I have bought it? I don't know. I probably would have gone on, listened to some of maybe other people in the community talking about the value and stuff and been like, maybe this isn't the greatest idea.
Which you can't do with a Secret Lair because you have to get into the queue.
Yeah,
exactly. That. Yeah, so it makes you just make a rash decision.
Especially with Chaos Vault now. This is a whole new thing that they're doing, and it's like the secret of Secret Lairs, where not only the Chaos Vault stuff.
I don't think I know that.
So okay, so with Chaos Vault, which was part of the dogs one, is that you have to sign up to like a mail list, and you basically nothing gets announced. You just people get an email basically to say this Secret Lair is about to drop in like an hour. That's it. And then you have to be there. And obviously, if that Secret Lair is not in huge demand, then you might have more than a few hours, right? Like I think with the dogs and cat ones, the cat ones sold out way quicker. Yeah. So obviously, if it's less demand, you'll probably be fine. I think the one they did with like all the lands and stuff, I was not a fan of those at all. And I think they were on market for a little bit longer.
I think I remember this now. Yeah, because I know with the Marvel Secret Lair, at least like I knew it was coming. Yeah. So I had time to think, okay, how much do I want to put aside? Do I want non-foil foil? What ones do I want? Yeah. Whereas the one that I was gutted I missed because it was last minute with Deadpool.
Right, so Deadpool was a part of that Chaos Vault.
Because I would have done it if I had time to save for it and put the money aside, but
and
didn't know it was coming.
And this is the thing, right? And this is the thing. And now you don't have access to that product. So now you've been on the winning end where you've got what you wanted, and now you've been on the painful end of now. That's it. Your chance is gone. They're sold out. You're never going to be able to get those cards. Yeah. And how does that make you feel?
Not great.
You know?
I definitely was gutted. Yeah.
Because I was
I understand the game, but it is gutting. Yeah. It's kind of like I tried to think to myself, I understand the game. You know, sometimes you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But it's definitely a gutting feeling when you don't get it, when it's last minute. I prefer the Secret Lairs the way they did with the Marvel, when you have time to figure out at least a little bit.
So would you say you're not a fan of Chaos Vault? Because the reason people say Chaos Vault is really good is because it stops scalpers, right? Because the scalpers don't know it's coming, they can't plan for it either. So really, the argument is it's only the franchise players, the people that are like, very invested in the game are going to know about it. And it's kind
Yeah.
of like a battle against scalpers in a way.
I do actually, yeah, I like that concept actually, yeah.
So it has its downsides and it has its upsides.
But maybe with what they, it's actually tough. Like, there's one side of me that was gonna actually say maybe something like Deadpool, where it has a huge fan base. Maybe don't do that. For that
Don't
thing.
make it a Chaos Vault.
Yeah, and do like more like dogs and cats and things, where it's like, oh, it's cute, but if you miss out, you know, you're not.
But then I'd argue
But
that if you
then-
don't make it a Chaos Vault, then if you make it one that's more popular,
That's
like
where
the
I started
Deadpool,
to think about
they're more likely to get scalped.
Yeah, that's where I started to think about my point. I was like, actually, no.
Maybe
yeah.
not. You know?
It's
complex.
definitely tough. Another thing that I would say that's the downside of Secret Lairs is, and this is the same with the Disney dolls. It's the technology side of things, because like I said with the Disney dolls, when I was able to queue at the store, that's when I did it, because I really liked that I could. It's like it was pretty much a guarantee. Like if I got up early in the morning and got down there, I can get into the queue.
Interesting.
Whereas with this, the trouble, because we had this with our cousin, where he queued around about the same time as us.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's like it's technology, so it's not a person, it's, you know, it's a robot.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's not going to think, oh, to be considerate, I'm going to tell people that it's sold out now,
Yeah.
and then they won't queue anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not a human doing
No.
that. So our cousin
You can't argue with the robot.
wasted so many hours
Yeah.
waiting in this queue, and it was sold out hours
Yeah.
ago. And there was no way of him knowing. So it was
They're
waste of time.
also trying to address this, because with
Yeah.
the Chaos Lot thing, they also said that they are now, not with all of them, but I think with certain Secret Lairs, they're making them try to be more available, like in store. So there will be a certain amount, but even that,
That's
I think
something
they're
like
only
Dark Sphere or
non-foil.
something.
They're only non-foil, not foil. So even then, if you want the foil ones, you'd have to get them, I think, online. But they're trying to make Secret Lairs more accessible.
Like at a local LGS or something. Like,
Yeah.
Because that would be quite cool if, you know, like I used to do back in the day, you know, set an alarm, get to my local LGS, and, you know, it can be on like the Magic the Gathering Instagram page of like, okay, yeah. Put the date in, make sure I got time off of work to go, and make it like an outing. It's because the trouble with internet as well is, you know, if it decides to go down or there's a lag or something, then you're pretty much fucked. Yeah, I had this, like again with Disney, where my internet went down the day that a exclusive product was releasing. And luckily my friend was a fan of stuff as well, so they had to help me, like, you know, we had to use like his internet to get a hold of it, and it was just a big thing, and I was stressing out.
I can imagine you as well. Like,
I was literally screaming.
oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay, so but Secret Lairs as a concept, as like a marketing thing, would you say you're pro Secret Lair? You're happy that Secret Lair
Yes.
exists? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And that's because of the specialness
There's
that it
just
provides.
ways that you can make it better.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I would agree. I'm pro Secret Lair. The big thing for me why I like Secret Lairs is because it just gives also certain stuff a place. So like I love the whole thing of like Secret Lair goes a bit more out there. They can be a bit more adventurous, even though Wizards are already doing that now with their regular products. But like the stuff like, you know, I'll say it, you know, like stuff like Ether Drift, right? That would have been received much better as just like a set of Secret Lairs
I agree.
than a whole set.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not a whole against of magic should just be magic and that's it, you know, like I don't subscribe to that at all. So I like the fact that Secret Lair gives them a place for that.
Yeah.
So I do like the fact that Secret Lair exists, and even with like Universes Beyond, the fact that sometimes Universes Beyond they don't have enough. IP doesn't have enough to make a full set, but it could be enough to fill a Secret Lair.
Yeah.
And they've got the specialness of the Secret Lair and blah, blah, blah. So I think that's good. Now here's the big one, okay? Mechanically unique cards in Secret Lair, as opposed to cards that are just reskins of cards that exist. What are your opinions on that? Because if you look at Marvel Secret Lair, every set came with a mechanically unique card, which was like the hero, and then the other cards were all cards that already exist with just like reskinned art to suit that hero. Whereas we saw the SpongeBob Secret Lair, and
It's pretty much
they
good,
were
right?
all reskins,
Yeah.
right? SpongeBob was just Joe to the Unifier. I'll put the card up somewhere here. You can see
Yeah.
it. It's a Magic card that already exists. You know, Patrick is a card that already exists. It's got Patrick's face. It's got SpongeBob's face. So, and some people love that. Some people don't. What are
toughie.
your opinions on mechanically unique Secret Lair
Definitely like
cards?
50-50 is good and bad points, because one of the things that I'm thinking on top of my head is that with reskins, at least if you don't get it, okay, you're gutted that you didn't get like the cool artwork of your favorite character, but at least you're not missing out on like, oh, this generally has a cool effect that I want for like my commander or in my deck.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, it is cool for the people that are lucky to get it to have that uniqueness, like I said, in their decks, because they went through going to get them. So it's very...
It makes them less exciting.
I have very mixed
100%.
opinions. Yeah, I can't go one way or the other. I just can't.
Okay. Yeah. I mean...
Very mixed.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. If they're not mechanically unique, they are not as exciting.
Yeah.
And I don't think... Because there's a lot of people that are very pro just reskins, including me. Like, to be honest, I actually am more on the side of there shouldn't be mechanically unique Secret Lairs. Even though they're cool, right? Yeah. They are cool, but I don't think that you should make a product that is so limited to people that is also exclusive. It's like they've already got the recipe for the good sauce, right? If you look at Magic as sets and collector boosters, they like, let's take Foundations as an example, right? There's a Lana War Elves, which is like a card that's worth less than $1 or £1 or whatever. It's a good card, but it's just been printed so many times. But then there's a anime art Lana War Elves that is like £200-300 to buy, and it's special and people love it, right? And you pull it and it's super exciting. Mechanically, it's still special, so you can still make it special. So
that's true.
It kind of nullifies that whole argument of the mechanic unique card has to make, that's what makes it special, because that's not true, because we've already seen that not be true. If someone's willing to pay £300 for a Lana War Elves when they could just pay £1 and get one, it's clear that they are...
Yeah, like fair and options, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like the scarcity of the Secret Lair with the unique art should be enough to push the product on its own.
I agree, yeah, especially with fandoms, because, you know, at the end of the day, if you're a Marvel fan, or with SpongeBob, you just love the whole childhood, you know, kind of nostalgic thing. Yeah. Then you're going to love the art, and that's going to be special in its own right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, again, like our cousin, he didn't care about what the cards did. He literally couldn't care less. He just bought them because it's got SpongeBob stuff on it.
Yeah.
And he was going to buy it regardless of what cards they were. Just like with me, when I bought the dogs, you know? Like, I looked at them and I was like, oh, these cards, these are all usable. That's cool. That definitely helped 100%. Even though they weren't worth a lot, I knew I could pop them in decks, right? If they were just utterly useless, then I'd be like, I don't know. Even though when Commander, it's a casual format, you can still play cards that are bad.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could always argue you could just slip them into a bracket 1 deck or something. So there's always a place. But, yeah, I just don't... The more I think about it, the more I think, like, really mechanically unique cards shouldn't exist unless they are going to do what they did, which they've now pulled out of and said they're not doing, which is make, with like Universes Beyond, they started making Universes Within versions of those cards, right? For the Walking Dead cards, there are all Universes Within cards. So those cards do exactly the same as those Walking Dead cards, but they have magic artwork and they have a magic name and they're based on a character.
Which just makes it fair, because if you're someone, especially, or even with the whole argument of like, what if you saw those Walking Dead cards and was like, oh, I really like the effect this goes well with blah, blah, blah deck, but I'm not a fan of Walking Dead. Yeah. There's that aspect as well. Yeah. So I think that does make sense of like doing reprints, because then you can decide.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Because that can happen where someone might think, oh, those effects that I saw on those cards are worth it enough to queue, even though I don't like Marvel or whatever. And then people might do that. Yeah. So it just makes more sense to make a magic artwork of it.
Yeah. So that's kind of that's my thoughts on mechanically unique Secret Lairs. Even though I think they're cool and I love the Marvel cards that I've got, like reality is, especially if they do it well and they reskin it with a card that makes sense, so they make it succeed on a flavor thing. But then maybe they can't do that, because if you look at the SpongeBob cards, personally, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of SpongeBob, so I'm not the best person to give my opinion on this. But I know enough to know when I'm looking at these cards, they don't make sense. They don't. You know, why the hell is Patrick black mana? He should not be black mana, you know, just straight up.
Yeah,
you know,
that is true,
why is Plankton white mana?
Yeah.
He's a bloody villain, you know, and
That
he's
is true.
white.
Because what I like about my Black Panther card, and I've got Wolverine card that I'm not using yet, but it's in my binder right now. They have effects. I'm like, this is flavorful.
Yeah, Wolverine
for
should
the
be
character.
Brawl. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why, like, for me, it's such a mixed bag, which I've just thought that's why this is such a great topic. Because there's just so much to talk about that are from different opinions and different sides.
Yeah. And I think from a consumer, Secret Lairs are always going to seem a little bit anti-consumer, right? Because it is, apart from what we talked about with the specialness, obviously that is for the consumer.
Yeah.
The whole thing of you not being able to buy the product is very anti-consumer, and them deliberately holding back the card to make it special is very anti-consumer. But then you could say that about just card games in general, like with rarities of cards. They could print they could make every card common, but then that card is no longer special, you know? Like the reason you get excited, the reason you get excited to pull a card is not purely based on the art, just fancy art himself. If you knew that a card is stunning artwork, but it's a common and it comes out in every booster, immediately you're like, oh. We are human beings. There's a reason why these card games do that stuff.
Puts a bit of
exactly.
excitement.
You know, I got something rare.
Yeah.
So to argue, if I think going down that path of like things being like hard to get and stuff like that, if you start criticizing that, then really, you know, you could start to just criticize just trading card games in general and the whole model, and you might as well just go and play like what do they call it? Like is it an LCG where it's like living card? No, that's not it. Where you've got it's like a board game and everyone plays with the same cards and stuff like that. That sort of stuff, or just play with proxies or whatever. Like if you get to that point, then you really are just kind of defeating the purpose. So I guess it's just the line. How limited should they be making these products? Which I think is the big thing. Cool. Okay, so I think that's most of what I wanted to discuss in terms of Secret Lair. So the only thing I would also say now, just to live on a little positive note, okay, go on. I'll let you take the
so it's just about what Secret Lairs we want to see next.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So what are you thinking?
What am I thinking? What Secret Lair would I like to see next? Okay.
So I can think about mine.
Okay. So I'm going to assume... Okay, so I think there's two things, because you could go the Universes Beyond route, and then you can go...
To make it a bit easier, shall we start with, because we know there's going to be another Marvel set, shall we actually say what you want to see from the Marvel one first, and then do that?
From a Marvel Secret Lair?
Yeah, since we know that's coming. Yeah.
Okay. So what... Well, I think the Marvel one that they were saying was coming was the Deadpool one, though.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah,
no,
you're right.
Five
no,
new ones.
Yes,
They said
okay.
5.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They did, yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay.
I know some of mine.
I want to see Nightcrawler, and I want to see him blink, okay? He needs to be able to leave the battlefield and come back. Like, that's what I want to see. If it's not in this, if it's not in the Secret Lair, then I want to see it in the future.
You're great with Bloomberg frogs.
Yes.
It's just bouncing back, yeah.
Yeah, you could just...
That would be so funny.
You could just reskin, like, with those... Yeah, and then every card in that set, in that Nightcrawler set, has bounce or flicker abilities or whatever.
That'd be cool.
100%. That is what I'd like to see. Other than that, I'd love to see an Ultron card. I think that would just be awesome. I know we've seen Iron Man artifacts, blah, 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 blah. But like, yeah, to have an Ultron card that like animates your artifacts. Because, I mean, it's weird, right? Because I thought Bello was a little bit boring. I know a lot of people love Bello as a card, as a design.
Yeah, it's popular,
But if Ultron did that, it would feel just super, super thematic. And I just think you could do it where, I think the big thing with me with Bello is that they just have it indestructible and haste. So you don't have to think, and you've got a lot of incentive to attacks. If they hit, you draw. I would just make it you can animate the artifact.
Yeah.
And it's a body, but then it can be destroyed and stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool. So I'd say those are two things on the top of my head. What about you?
One of them, I'm actually at the moment thinking Loki. And
Okay. What would Loki do?
I was thinking with Loki, because obviously he's like a trickster. I was trying to think about magic, and on top of my head, maybe like copy. He's like turning into things.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
that scene we talked about recently when Thor was talking about when they're kids and like he turns himself into a snake.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like I just think that'd be really funny, you know, getting Loki out and just having my stuff just turn into other things. It's like, oh no, it's a dragon. Like, yeah.
Brilliant. Perfect.
Brilliant.
100%.
I think that'd be great. And then I can't think off the top of my head what she would do, but I would just love a Wonder one, Scarlet Witch.
Okay.
Yeah, I just can't think of.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher.
Because I know, like, she would get into your mind and stuff.
She could do a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Wanda can do a lot of stuff.
So I feel like it's just something that's very like controlling. It's definitely to do with like your opponent, like controlling their movement.
So what colours would she be?
Definitely black.
Okay, she's definitely got some black in her, I think.
Definitely black. Blue.
Yeah, because the control.
Oh
Yeah.
I think of that.
I think some red in there as well.
I was trying to think,
she's
would
got
there be
that
red?
passion,
But I was
she's got that
trying to
anger.
think why.
Like Grixis, black, blue, red, I think is perfect for Wanda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Okay. And what about themes? So, because we've seen Secret Lairs where they've just been based on like a theme. Is there any specific like themes? Because what comes to my head immediately when we were talking about earlier about like rom-coms.
Oh, yeah.
Like a romantic. We have sort of seen that recently. I don't think you've seen it, but there was like I forgot the card's name in Magic. Is it Carlia? I think it's Carlia, and it was depicting a romance thing where she like falls in love with like demons and dragons and stuff like that, and it's quite cool actually. I would show you, but then it's probably going to break your heart that you've missed it and you can't buy it. So here's again the problem. You know?
So that's another aspect. So obviously, you think about all the other ones that came before you joined the game, and that's not in your control. So something that I think of as Secret Lair for me, because I think we had a discussion ages ago, so you won't remember it probably. But I was talking about with my books, them. But then I was also thinking, but then with a set, it wouldn't work. Especially, for example, I love Fourth Wing, but there's already obviously plenty of dragon stuff, especially with Tarkia coming out. So I thought to myself, well, Secret Lair would be cool because that's just like 5 cards, and you can put that into your Tarkia.
That in with
dragons,
Tarkia.
Whatever.
They could even reskin Tarkia cards.
Yeah. So I was thinking, you know, Brandon Sanderson. There's Fourth Wing. I know a lot of people are a fan of Fourth Wing. Like that's actually introducing people into books.
Yeah.
You know, anything by Sarah J. Maas, loads of stuff.
I think we need a whole podcast episode based on Universes Beyond, really, and what we'd like to see.
But
so we'll
in
hold
particular,
that for
I
another
think,
episode.
with fantasy books, because Magic is already fantasy, what I'm saying is that I don't think they could do a whole set. It would have to be a Secret Lair.
Yeah, fair play.
Because it's already in fantasy universes,
Cool. Right. Yeah, so I think that should be enough to wrap up the old episode. So let us know in the comments below. What do you think of Secret Lairs? Do you love them? Do you hate them? What Secret Lairs would you like to see in the future? Yeah. Any other closing thoughts, Shannon? Yeah, good? Okay, that's that. Have yourself a lovely day, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Cheers.
Yep.